what this can be attributed to, whether or not this time around the tax rate has been higher. Has that eaten into the bottom line growth? What the margin picture is? Has the US revenue growth come in higher on account of Glumetza? All of those factors will have to be watched out for. Neeta Shetty with us. Neeta, I'm going to walk you through the numbers that we have with us at hand for Lupin. 807 crore rupee profit. We've got the top line growth at 4,091 and the EBITDA at 1,368 crore rupees. Let's start off with the headline number. Is the profit higher than what you were expecting?
Yeah, we were already close to 798 crores. Quarter was likely to be a very strong quarter, given that Glumetza launched. A full quarter benefit would have reflected in this quarter. So, yeah, but it's slightly ahead. On the top line, although they are a little ahead of expectations, we were at 3,900, which is coming at 4,091.
Yes, indeed. And operationally, too, it's been a fairly steady quarter for Lupin. The EBITDA has come in at a healthy 1,368 crores. We've got Sarabjit as well with us on the show. Sarabjit, let's talk about the margins. 33.4%. We were going in with an expectation of 27.9%. What do you think this can be attributed to? Because there have been fairly high R&D costs as well that have been undertaken, which is why we were expecting a little bit of a muted number.
Yeah, I guess so. As of now, I'm not aware of the sale numbers, so I can't comment whether it's to do with the sales numbers. But just not knowing the sales number, I guess it's more to do with probably constrained R&D expenditure, I think so. Or apart from that, because Lupin also includes other income, operating income as a part of margin, so I guess these are the two factors apart from sales which could be a part of margins being higher. So I guess these are the two ones, and I think more than sales, these two would probably play a role in margins being higher.
Praful Bora also joins in. Praful, above estimates on the PAT at 807, beat estimates with a 34% bump up in the top line growth and margins at a healthy 33.4%. How would you be reading into the numbers of Lupin?
So definitely it's a better set of numbers than what we had expected. But I think what needs to be, what we need to probably check is the contribution from Photomet and Glumetza, because that's the key. So if the results are largely driven by these two things, then I think the numbers, the street would not be, it should be okay, as in we should not be very enthused about it, because, going forward we'll see competition in these products. But if they operationally, the numbers have improved, then probably things will start looking up.
Sarabjit, is that a view that you would concur with, that no doubt it has been the contribution of Glumetza and some of the other drugs that have helped with the exclusivity period? That's why one shouldn't really read too much into this kind of a stellar growth on every parameter?
The management had indicated fourth quarter onwards the performance will improve, and the way they were performing earlier. I don't know. Top line, I think, has done fairly well in spite of our estimates. So I think margin reflection is, as per my thinking, is that it's gone higher because of sales. So if they continue this kind of a sales performance, I guess it's a good sign that finally Lupin will be able to deliver on numbers going forward. So I guess it's a good beginning to the next year, I guess.
Let's get in Darshan from our earnings desk. Darshan, walk us through some more details. Any numbers for the US revenues, the tax rates, etc.?
See, just to give a brief, the numbers are strong, no doubt, but we'll have to see how much was the contribution from Glumetza, how much the US revenues came in, how much was the price increase as far as Photomet is concerned, because this is not given. Lupin has crossed the revenue of 4,000 crores for the first time, so it's a very, very strong top line that is coming in. We were anticipating 3,800 crores, it's coming close to 4,100 crores. Profits also much higher, almost 807 versus our estimate of 720 crores. Margins at 33.4%, it's one of the highest margins that we've seen on Lupin. never seen, at least in the last 5 quarters, Lupin crossed 30%. Last 4-5 quarters have been very poor. So it's now it's very important. The management commentary becomes very important because such numbers, whether it will sustain or no, it's not known, because in this we don't know how much Gavis contributed. In this we don't know how much Glumetza contributed, and in this we don't know how much was the incremental revenue hike that came in because of Glumetza. Now finance costs have gone up. Tax rate is 34%, and that is because of the dividend distribution tax that it did. So 34% is the tax rate compared to 20% that was there last time around. We don't have the breakup, but they've given a breakup as far as what sales were there outside of India and what was there as far as India is concerned. So India is 19%, so domestic revenues has come in slightly above what the street was anticipating. But if you're looking at the 41% growth that is there, that is outside India, which gives an indication that majority of it probably will have come in from either Europe or US. There's a high chance that it will be. Japan will be strong, no doubt, given the fact that the currency has been in favor. The yen has strengthened close to 12% against the currency. So that is why the Japanese numbers will be good. But overall the numbers are good. The devil will be in the detail in the press conference, where they give a breakup of how exactly they manage to come up with such a strong beat as far as their top line and margins is concerned.
Okay, thanks for breaking it down for us. I want to check in as to what the stock price of Lupin is up to, because Darshan's pointed out that despite that tax rate, it's been pretty high on all parameters, or rather a beat on all expectations. First time ever that they've crossed a revenue of 4,000 crore rupees. Margins above the 30% mark has been for the first time in many quarters as well. So just pull up the stock price of Lupin and see how it's reacting to those numbers. 1.2% higher. In fact, it's come off pretty rapidly from the high point of the day, but as Darshan said, we'll have to watch out for the nitty-gritties and some more details from the management. I just wanted to know what exactly, Sarabjit, you are anticipating by way of management commentary. Will you be watching out for, commentary on US revenues as well as the Japanese currency, which is likely to be in favor, and what the tax rate is going forward, and any other points that you'd like to highlight?
See, more than currency, because that's something which none of the companies can take accurate calls on. We will be more focusing on US and more in terms of Indian business and R&D expenditure for the next couple of years, because R&D expenditure for Lupin has been rising continuously for a couple of quarters, and I guess that should be decent enough for us to gauge or get sensibility as to where the company is heading in terms of profitability and growth.
Yeah, the stock's not all too pleased, despite the fact that it's been a strong set of numbers on pretty much all counts. In fact, as we speak, Lupin is just about finding its feet after grinding all the way to the day's low post the numbers being declared at around 1655. Just to get in a view then, Meeta, as to how you're looking at the stock price of Lupin on account of the kind of numbers that it's delivered, pretty much consistently in line with what the management has been indicating. What are you advising on the stock?
Yeah, so I think that definitely the numbers are ahead of street expectations, and as well as ours on a slighter margin. But I think stock price will definitely be driven by 2-3 things. One is on the plant, what the management has to say, and how soon, when can we expect the compliance issues getting resolved, particularly at the Goa plant, since around 25% of the pending ANDAs are from that plant. And also on the Manidi plant, which is existing plant contributing to revenues. Second thing would be on the launches, because we know that Glumetza will be there till August, but then post that competition will step in. So some products are there, someone like some to name are like a Prezista or a Velcol or a Renagel. So any clarity on that, I guess this would be driving the stock price. So these are the 2 key things, and then obviously your roadmap as to how you want to take it Gavis ahead, because that's an interesting product pipeline there which can be built over the next 2 years. So I think these are the 3 key points which will drive the stock price ahead.
Okay, and just map the year-to-date chart as well of Lupin, because things haven't been all that rosy for the company. There were lots of concerns as well when it came to the Goa plant and some observations over there. So the stock has, seen a little bit of a downdrift this year, and even on a year-to-date basis, lost out in excess of about 10%. just take us through what exactly would be your expectation when it comes to the overall domestic revenue growth, Sarabjit, as well as some sort of particular numbers that you're expecting by way of the US revenues, because we're working with a number of over 40%.
Actually, domestic and US, we expected to do better this quarter, and domestic, at least we are estimating upwards of 16%, and US are upwards of around 35%. So that's our expectation for the quarter. Going forward, I guess India and US both should do well for the company, and a couple of approvals for the next year, and domestic bouncing back, I think. Japan also doing fairly well in volume terms. So next year should be decent, and in terms of both growth and profitability.
Okay, and while we're divulging deep into Lupin's numbers, take a look at the market. Ignore that and it's fallen, and how 7,800 now, and just about holding on by the skin of our teeth at that mark. Should pull up the intraday chart actually of the Nifty in today's session, as it's on the brink of breaching that level of 7,800, and there you go. Bears are firmly in control. Sensex now down 220 odd points. The broader markets